It would be an interesting dynamic to see a mental health professional in the political realm, because I think you could bring some reason and some emotional intelligence and some human rights understanding into the perspective. So I'm actually really excited.
Yeah, and I think the opportunity to highlight, right, the need for mental health awareness,
yes,
and highlight the need for resources in regards to mental health to our community. And that's one of the things Dr. Matt and I are working on, you know, as part of our wellness plan and as part of our relationships with Will County, ensuring that available resources are brought to our community. It's one thing to, you know, have resources, but it's another thing to be aware of those resources and ensure that our residents are aware of those resources. And I think that's what having sort of a mental health professional sitting on a board like the Village Board is beneficial. But not to mention, Dr. Matt is also an entrepreneur. He's had multiple facilities and he's run a business.
Yes.
You know, so those are skill sets that you know, he has that will be a benefit to our community.
I agree with you.
Well, something further when it comes to the civic engagement piece and trying to tie this all in together is that, you know, there needs to be engagement for change to take place. You know, there's a lot of bad in the world. There's a lot of corruption out in the world, but there's also a lot of great in the world. You know, it is very easy to get caught up in the bad, see past the good, and just complain. Sometimes we internalize the complaints. We don't say anything to anybody else. Sometimes we externalize them in a forum like this. It's relatively small. Sometimes we're posting stuff all over social media. But the truth is that unless you are going to take action to make the change occur, it's not going to occur. And it's true that silence is passive acceptance. If you do not do something to interrupt the bad thing that's happening, it's going to continue. So it's important that we get involved with this at a civic level. And I think one of the things that we were speaking about earlier, you know, all the campaigning that we're doing, the door knocking we're doing, the videos we're posting and things, we're spending extensive amounts of time. I mean, don't get me wrong. And I think for the everyday person, you take a look at people who are politicians, volunteers, advocates in this, and they see this big picture. Wow, I don't possibly have the time to spend 10, 20, 30, 40 hours a week. I can't have 2 full-time jobs doing this. But really, the truth is any little thing you do is a step forward. Even if it's a couple hours a month, even if it's an hour a month, it's a step in the right direction. Taking it back to the whole mental health piece, and a lot of what I do is, you know, I have like very diverse talents, very diverse competencies and so on. And that's really what brought me into the political arena. I'm sitting here, I'm speaking about, you know, matters of multicultural diversity, and everybody is a diverse person. I do realize that various populations have faced various forms of oppression, which is still ongoing today. You know, but having those conversations with the individuals, you know, considering, you know, BIPOC individuals, Black, Indigenous, people of color, also taking a look at our LGBTQIAP+ populations and servicing their needs, individuals with disabilities that are readily apparent or not. We have to be mindful of this, and a big part of what I do is being able to have those conversations using the right terminology, pronouns, and so on. But also, although I can't say I've walked in the shoes of another, I can't say I've had a similar experience, you know, to what you've lived, Alex, you know, because I am a white male of privilege and recognize that. But being able to empathize with other individuals, whether that is the one-on-one, whether that is in a group, and seeing the pain that they've gone through while educating myself further and putting myself out there, that's a big piece that makes a difference in how I see this translating over. But really, anything you could do to take that forward step, that's what we need to do, and that's civic engagement for me.